After the Ottomans assumed power in 1517, they did not undertake any major renovations or repairs to the mosque itself, but they did to the noble sanctuary as a whole. This included the building of the Fountain of Qasim Pasha, 1527, the restoration of the Pool of Raranj, and the building of 3 freestanding domes, the most notable being the Dome of the Prophet built in 1538. All construction was ordered by the Ottoman governors of Jerusalem and not the sultans themselves. The sultans did make additions to existing minarets. However, in 1816, the mosque was restored by Governor Suleiman Pasha al-Adil after having been in a dilapidated state. The first renovation in the 20th century occurred in 1922, when the Supreme Muslim Council under Amin al-Husseini, the Grand Mufti of Jerusalem, commissioned Turkish architect Ahmet Kemalettin Bey to restore al-Aqsa Mosque and the monuments in its precincts. The council also commissioned British architects, Egyptian engineering experts and local officials to contribute to and oversee the repairs and additions which were carried out in 1924–25 by Kemalettin. The renovations included reinforcing the mosque's ancient Umayyad foundations, rectifying the interior columns, replacing the beams, erecting a scaffolding, conserving the arches and drum of the main dome's interior, rebuilding the southern wall, and replacing timber in the central nave with a slab of concrete. The renovations also revealed Fatimid-era mosaics and inscriptions on the interior arches that had been covered with plasterwork. The arches were decorated with gold and green tinted gypsum and their timber tie beams were replaced with brass. A quarter of the stained glass windows also were carefully renewed so as to preserve their original Abbasid and Fatimid designs. Severe damage was caused by the 1837 and 1927 earthquakes, but the mosque was repaired in 1938 and 1942. An earthquake in 1927 and a small tremor in the summer of 1937 eventually brought down the roof of the Aqsa Mosque, prompting the reconstruction of the upper part of the north wall of the mosque and the internal refacing of the whole. The partial reconstruction of the jambs and lintels of the central doors, the refacing of the front of 5 bays of the porch, and the demolition of the vaulted buildings that formerly adorned the east side of the mosque. On 20 July 1951, King Abdullah I was shot 3 times by a Palestinian gunman as he entered the mosque, killing him. His grandson Prince Hussein was at his side and was also hit, though a medal he was wearing on his chest deflected the bullet. On 21 August 1969, a fire was started by a visitor from Australia named Dennis Michael Rowan, an evangelical Christian who hoped that by burning down al-Aqsa Mosque he would hasten the second coming of Jesus. In response to the incident, a summit of Islamic countries was held in Rabat that same year, hosted by Faisal of Saudi Arabia, the then King of Saudi Arabia. The al-Aqsa fire is regarded as one of the catalysts for the formation of the organization of the Islamic Conference, OIC, now the Organization of Islamic Cooperation. In 1972, following the fire, the dome was reconstructed in concrete and covered with anodized aluminium, instead of the original ribbed lead enamelwork sheeting. In 1983, the aluminium outer covering was replaced with lead to match the original design by al-Zahir. In the 1980s, Ben Shoshan and Yehuda Etzion, both members of the Gush Emunim underground, plotted to blow up the al-Aqsa Mosque and the Dome of the Rock. Etzion believed that blowing up the 2 mosques would cause a spiritual awakening in Israel, and would solve all the problems of the Jewish people. They also hoped the Third Temple of Jerusalem would be built on the location of the mosque. On 5 November 2014, Israeli police entered al-Aqsa for the first time since capturing Jerusalem in 1967. Said Sheikh Azam al-Khatib, director of the Islamic Waqf. Previous media reports of storming al-Aqsa referred to the Haram al-Sharif compound rather than the al-Aqsa Mosque itself.